Hello, I'm Dale Hawley, and this is my Objective 2 Media Clip project for educating exceptional students, entitled Blueprint for Modern Education, Applying Universal Design for Learning and Differentiated Instruction. Not long ago in U.S. history, education was created as a one-size-fits-all curriculum. This too often translated into the teacher lectures while students sit idle listening or taking notes approach, regularly followed by the teacher provides a few examples and students mimic activity. Those students who weren't particularly sparked with enthusiasm by this curriculum were stamped as a B, C, D, or F student, and the class moved forward, leaving many students marginalized. These marginalized students were often students with disabilities, students who were English language learners, or students who were simply struggling. Many might have done well with a different approach or a modification, but instead they were swept to the next unit to build upon the ideas that they didn't fully grasp in the current unit. Thankfully, today, educators recognize that learning is as unique to an individual as their own fingerprint. Every student arrives at school with their own set of experiences and their own schemas for understanding new information. This includes both students with disabilities and students without disabilities. Just as no two snowflakes are identical, no two brains learn the same way. Therefore, educators today understand that no single curriculum is ideal for every student, or even most students. We are all beautifully different. This idea provides an excellent framework for inclusion. As educators rise to the challenge of teaching to the full diversity of the inclusive classroom, two educational philosophies have emerged: differentiated instruction and universal design for learning. Differentiated instruction focuses on making learning accessible for all students by incorporating strategies used to engage students based on their unique readiness, interests, and learning profile. Differentiated instruction strongly emphasizes formal assessments. Pre-assessments determine necessary modifications and initial placement, while ongoing assessments reevaluate student needs and their level of improvement. Teachers also spend a great deal of time planning the classroom environment to ensure that placement and organization are optimal for the needs of students. The three key principles of differentiated instruction are content, process, and product. Content is comprised of knowledge, concepts, and skills passed from teacher to pupil during a lesson. Differentiating content provides choices of various delivery methods. Content might include a video or a lecture and/or a demonstration, for example. Process refers to making sense of lesson material. Students need time to reflect and digest new concepts. Teachers can help students to process new information by using a variety of assessments during this phase. To measure comprehension and to correct misconceptions, methods may include a Q&A group session, individual journaling, and pair and share activities. Students might be allowed to choose which they prefer. Product refers to the final test of knowledge in a given unit. This measures whether the student has reached the initial goal. Teachers can provide differentiation of the product by offering 3 or 4 options for final assessment. Alternatively, students might be allowed to propose their own ideas for a capstone project or a portion of the project. The Universal Design for Learning philosophy wisely predicts the need to incorporate inclusional standards in the initial plan to create a flexible learning environment, built to be usable by to the greatest extent possible by everyone, including and especially those students whom could be easily marginalized by a one-size-fits-all curriculum. Students with disabilities, students who are English language learners, or students whom are simply struggling. But also students who are considered gifted and could easily become bored if not challenged by their curriculum. Universal Design for Learning has 3 key principles: multiple means of representation, multiple means of engagement, and multiple means of expression. Multiple means of representation refers to multimodal teaching, relying on a mixture of mediums to relay concepts rather than a single approach. Choices may include a lecture, a video, group discussion, or a combination of these or other endless options. Multiple means of engagement refers to maximizing student learning through motivation and relevancy, so students have opportunities to interact with and internalize the lesson. This is best achieved by activities using themes and ideas which spark individual student interests, for example, a sign language discussion group, or a video game experiment, or a sports-themed worksheet. Multiple means of expression refers to offering students options to demonstrate their learning through several assessment possibilities. This allows students a chance to play toward their strengths and their interests. Options may include a multimedia project or a written paper. Alternatively, students might submit an idea of their own creation for approval. Implementing both differentiated instruction and universal design for learning is another option, as the two approaches work brilliantly together. The 3 key principles of each philosophy align well with one another. Adopting one instructional style can actually accomplish implementing the other. The 2 philosophies differ the most on their focus. The core of differentiated instruction emphasizes response to the individual student through constant assessment and defining their needs and fine-tuning instruction as necessary. Universal Design for Learning fine-tunes instructions at its conception, integrating modifications for all students at all levels of ability. Differentiated instruction and universal design for learning are complementary frameworks. Neither is superior. Universal design for learning, much like well-built architecture, anticipates and incorporates within its very design accessible accommodations for a multitude of users, helping to minimize problems before they arise. Differentiated instruction focuses on the individual through assessments, ensuring that each student is thriving and meeting educational goals. Both differentiated instruction and universal design for learning provide the modifications, flexible options, and various strategies necessary for each student to receive an exceptional education.